If you picture an animal that universally captures human affection, it is almost certainly the penguin. We see them as innocent, waddling icons of the ice, seemingly harmless to us and the planet. Yet beneath that cute exterior is an extreme biological resilience. To survive in their native habitat, these birds routinely endure air temperatures of 40 degrees below 0 Celsius, and they regularly dive into freezing, sub-zero ocean waters. Their dedication to the next generation is intense. A male emperor penguin will fast for more than 2 months, using his own body to incubate a fragile egg and protect it from the lethal cold. And this appeal spans the entire globe, from the massive 45-kilo emperor penguins of Antarctica to the tiny little blue penguins of Australia and New Zealand, which stand barely a foot tall. Humanity is fascinated by them. All of these traits paint a very specific picture. We view penguins as the ultimate, endearing survivors of Earth's harshest environments. But we are beginning to realize that these dedicated parents are also a significant environmental threat. The data suggests that penguins are actively contributing to global warming, accelerating a cycle that is directly threatening human coastal cities thousands of miles away. The question is, how? How does a flightless bird, living at the bottom of the world, become a hidden engine for global climate change? The answer starts with their diet. To maintain their body heat in freezing waters, penguins consume massive quantities of marine life, specifically fish, squid, and huge volumes of tiny, highly nutritious krill. Processing that much dense marine protein creates a bizarre biological byproduct. Their digestive system operates under an immense pressure, leading to an incredibly forceful method of expelling waste. When a penguin ejects its guano or waste, it acts like a biological pressure valve. They launch this material at speeds of up to 8 kilometers per hour, pushing it up to 4 feet away from their nests. On its own, a single penguin doing this is just an odd biological quirk. But during nesting season, millions of these birds cluster tightly together in dense colonies, turning massive stretches of ice into concentrated zones of accumulated waste. Because they live in an environment that demands intense calorie consumption, their massive colonies inadvertently function as vast biological pressure cookers. This process is so vast that scientists can track it from space. When analyzing satellite imagery of Antarctica, researchers noticed massive, mysterious dark stains interrupting the pristine white ice shelves. Those enormous, landscape-altering stains are entirely composed of layers of penguin guano, and this is where the climate threat begins. A penguin's marine diet is exceptionally rich in nitrogen. When thousands of tons of that nitrogen-heavy waste break down under the sun, it produces a specific chemical compound, nitrous oxide. This chart compares gas heat-trapping power. Carbon dioxide is a concern, but nitrous oxide is highly potent. A single molecule traps 300 times more heat than CO2. Millions of penguins continuously vent this potent pollution directly into the air. These birds are creating localized greenhouse gas hotspots directly on top of the planet's most vulnerable frozen reserves. That high concentration of nitrous oxide turns penguin breeding grounds into centers of localized atmospheric warming, placing additional thermal pressure on the surrounding ice. Because the penguins naturally gather along the coastlines to hunt, these emissions are concentrated exactly where the ice meets the warming ocean, making the Antarctic coast one of the first places where global warming effects are clearly visible. While ocean currents drive the primary melting of glaciers, these localized hotspots add to the instability that causes massive chunks of ice to fracture and collapse into the sea. It is a devastating ecological irony. The penguins rely entirely on this solid ice to breed and survive, yet their very biology is a contributing factor to the warming that destroys it. Nature's ultimate survivors have inadvertently become contributors to their own habitat's destruction. And because our global systems are linked, this problem does not stay in Antarctica. When that ice collapses into the ocean, it raises global sea levels. Current data indicates that if all of these glacial reserves were to melt entirely, global sea levels would rise by 213 feet. A sea level rise of that scale would be catastrophic, submerging coastal cities and displacing millions of people around the world. This threat reaches far beyond the poles, placing the densely populated coastlines of India and major global trade hubs directly in the path of the encroaching water. This paradox highlights the extreme fragility of our climate system. Even an animal living in total isolation can have an atmospheric footprint that eventually reaches our own doorsteps. In a deeply interconnected global ecosystem, even the cutest animals cast a dangerous shadow. If you want to uncover more of the hidden truths driving our planet's environment, hit the subscribe button below.